Welcome to this episode where I'm doing something just a little bit different. G'day, this is a motorcycle's tale. This episode is the first of 4 episodes of a head-to-head between all the bikes from the last year. Firstly, we'll have the Figaros in heavy, medium and light bikes. The next episode will be emergency stops and the distances that they took to stop. The third episode will be about the 0 to 60s, or in one case, the 0 to 50. And the last episode will be about the Twisty Hill and which bikes did and didn't make it successfully up there and how easily they did it. I hope that you'll like this episode, which is very different than normal. My plan for this episode is to show you the head-to-heads between heavy motorcycles, medium motorcycles and light motorcycles in Figaros and Figure 8s. I have something planned better for next year in this category where I'll film some extra footage and apply it to the special next year. Okay, let's go get on with today's episode. Starting with the Honda Shadow. The Honda Shadow was the biggest bike to turn out of all the bikes. I do believe that this was because of the beach bars that were on there, as I used to own a Honda Shadow and I could definitely turn it tighter than I could turn this model, but it was the hardest to turn of all the bikes. The Harley Dyna was the next bike that was the hardest to turn. This was really very heavy to turn. I don't know why it was so heavy. I'm sure that there are other Dynas out there that weren't as heavy as this one, but it definitely was quite heavy to turn. Yamaha MT-09 is next, and this was very easy to turn. For the size of the bike, it didn't have too much struggles, and I was able to make 3-line turns each time, and I was able to do figure 8s very easily. And so your winner out of the 3 heavy motorbikes is the Yamaha MT-09. In the middleweight motorbikes, we start with the Honda Rebel. All these bikes were very easy to turn, including the Honda Rebel, which was the biggest of the 3 different bikes. It definitely didn't have any problems. All that weight down low made it really easy to do figure 8s and figure O's. Next up, we have the Yamaha MT-03. Once again, a medium-sized bike, very light and easy and nimble to throw around, easily able to do the figure 8s and the figure O's. Next up we have the Yamaha Scorpio. Now this bike was absolutely an amazing bike. Nothing could compete with this bike I used to be able to easily just turn 2 lines on this bike. It was so quick to turn. Your winner for the midweight bikes is the Yamaha Scorpio. And finally, the lightweight bikes. The choice of these 5 bikes wasn't easy because they're all super nimble. But we start with the Suzuki GSX-125. Very, very easy to turn, and it can do the figure 8s very easily as well. Next we switch into the Super Soco electric scooter, and while this bike did have some issues with certain tests, the figure 0's and figure 8's was not one of them. Definitely a nice, nimble, easy to throw around bike. The CB125, again another easy bike, right up there with the Scorpio. Very, very easy just to throw it around, turn on a dime, and have no problems doing so. Next up is the Yamaha Jog, and again, such a little bike to turn circles on. I could have turned a lot tighter than what I did. When I do the specials again next year, my plan is to try and see how tight I can turn every bike, and it will be a competition for all the bikes, and we will have an overall winner. The last bike in the group is the Honda Grom. Another tiny little bike, rides and looks like a scooter, but is much better than a scooter. And your winner is the Yamaha Jog. Interestingly, that makes 3 Yamahas the winner this year. Okay, there you go. I think that was something a little different, and I think that was quite interesting, and I hope that you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed editing this one, and I think that the style and the idea was definitely different. I hope that having watched this, that this has told you a lot of motorcycles tales. Join me in the next episode where we'll be doing head-to-heads of emergency stops and to see who stops the fastest.